Welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we introduce them to professionals that can help them to do so. Today, we have a very special guest. Donna, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can't help but to smile today.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself and the name of your business.
Okay. My name is Donna Dees, and the name of my business is LifePath Legacy LLC.
Awesome. We so look forward to learning more about your business. But before that, we want to learn a little bit more about your story. And we understand that time is one of our most valuable resources. So tell us about your journey.
My journey. Well, I am pretty much from here. We moved here when I was 6. My dad was called to a church. He was a preacher man. So I'm the child of a preacher man. And we moved here and in the Decatur area. And that's pretty much where I've stayed, except when I went back to school in North Carolina, which is where I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been married. This year will be 40 years.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. I promise you it is. Congratulations. And we don't have any children, but we had a little fur baby, but she passed away. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 sisters. One of my sisters has actually passed away as well. And I'm big on community service. I'm served on 2 boards, as a matter of fact. I'm president of one, secretary of another.
Okay.
And I'm an avid Atlanta Falcons fan. Mm-hmm. There is no other team.
Oh.
And we are going to the Super Bowl soon. And everybody laughs when I say that.
I'm just trying to hold it back.
Okay.
Trying to hold it back.
And I'm big on family, very big on family. I have nieces and great nephews now. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of stayed in that arena of family, community, and just making sure that everything was good. I'm that person in the family that everybody calls when things need to be done.
Right.
So that's just I've accepted it and roll with it and take it as a blessing.
Yeah, that's always great to be that person that people look for things to make happen. Mm-hmm. You know, we all have those different roles in our family. When it comes to big family gatherings, I have to cook. It seems like whenever something needs to be done, they reach out to Donna. Mm-hmm. Now, you talked a little bit about how you were on those boards, and when I was doing my research, I saw that you work a lot with seniors in DeKalb. Mm-hmm. Do you mind sharing us a little bit about what it is, how you came with that? I know you've been doing that for a while now.
Mm-hmm. The name of the organization is DeKalb for Seniors.
Okay.
And who we are, is the nonprofit fundraising arm for the Lou Walker Senior Center, which is a multi-purpose facility in Lithonia for active senior adults. So what we do is we help raise money. Now, it is a county facility, so of course they have a budget and they have money and stuff, but there are things that the budget just doesn't cover sometimes. Mm-hmm. For instance, they have events and they want to have, a DJ or a caterer or give out gifts or whatever it may be. And we are able to do that, but we also, depending on what it is, are able to support some things at the center. So, for instance, they have a pool table and it was sideways, needed to be fixed and all of that, needed new cue sticks, balls and all that. Mm-hmm. So we made sure that happened. They needed TV monitors. Mm-hmm. This was some years ago when the TV monitors were starting to be put in places.
Yes.
So we were able to do that. So that's kind of that piece of it. Mm-hmm. And I've been there for a minute. I've been there since 2008.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of dedication on that. Now, as we're touching on that subject, do you guys have anything coming up big? Any galas, any events, anything that we can be aware of?
Well, we just had one.
Okay.
We just had the weekend of Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. We had a murder mystery theater. Satin Gloves. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was just a fundraising person. I ended up with a role.
Oh, okay.
And it was really cool because it was all improv. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody in the audience, I was going to say congregation. Everybody in the audience had a character, a role.
Okay.
So we had to play off of whatever people were saying.
Okay.
So it was really cool. And now we have a luncheon that's coming up. We had to change our date, so we're trying to get confirmation on that.
Okay.
It's our annual event where we honor seniors in the community. They have done really cool stuff. And then we award a Senior of the Year, where that person is recognized for their civic or community or just family work that they've done over the years.
Okay. Well, of course, as things come up, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you by promoting those things, because we couldn't have gotten here without our seniors. There's no way that we could get here without our seniors just physically. So we want to try to take care of them like they took care of us. Now, I just wanted to highlight that portion of what you have been doing, because that is very important for the community. Now, talking about some of the things that you've been doing, as we talk about your journey, when I was doing that research, I saw that this is something that you've always done or wanted to do, that industry that you're in, even from a young age before a teenager. Tell us a little bit about that experience, how you got introduced to it, and what set you on this path.
Well, it was always something that I was interested in, but it never quite, you just take different routes and end up doing different things. And I met a gentleman at an event. I don't even remember where it was. And he gave me his card. I put it away. You get business cards, you put them away. And I picked it up one day, maybe 3-4 months later, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, what does he do? And out of curiosity, I called.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, well, yeah, come on in. Went to see him. He said, well, how did you know I was looking for somebody? I said, I didn't. I just was nosy and wanted to come and see what you do.
Right.
And that was 11 years ago.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I got into it.
Okay.
It was, kind of a backdoor way, but I got there.
Okay.
And that's where I've been since. Now, he is no longer here. He passed away 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I decided to continue to do it, but just for me, as my own company.
Okay. Okay. Now, when it comes to that, you had experience for doing it. That's like 8-9 years of being in the industry in itself. And there's so many options that are there to go. You can go work with someone else. You can go and, be a part of another organization. But you decided to take it on and make it your own. Was there an event that happened that made you say, you know what, I'm going to burn the ship and go all in on my business?
A couple of things. How he passed away.
Okay.
We were on a Zoom on a Monday morning, and the very last thing he told me was, I'm going to live to be 100 years old. Wednesday morning, I found his body.
Oh, no. Okay.
And I was like, you know what? This is crazy. The whole situation, I said it was like a Tyler Perry movie. It was just a plot and a plot and a thicken and a thicken. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this for, honestly, what I said was, I'm not doing this for anybody else.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not. I'm just going to do it. If I can do it for them, I can do it for me. And the way things worked out, it was, I was thinking all these years I couldn't because I didn't have the right connections. I didn't have the right this or the right that or whatever. And when I started making phone calls, they were like, oh. And I said, this is what I want to do now. These are people I had been affiliated with, but not directly. And they're like, oh, all we got to do is just click this, change that, move that. I was like, that's it? Right. And they were like, yep, that's it. Okay. And so, boom. And then I was introduced to a lady who had been in the industry who helped me with the business side of it. All those things I needed to do business-wise to be in compliance and all that. Because I'm licensed. I'm licensed through the state of Georgia. So I had to make sure I stayed right with that. And she helped me with that. And the crazy thing is, once she helped me with that, then she disappeared.
Oh.
I was calling her, and I was like, I guess she did what she was supposed to do for me, and now move on.
Yes. She was that angel in place for you and did what you need. And, hey, listen, you never know who's going to help us get on those next steps in our journey. And as we talk about that, now we want to talk about your business. So remind everyone the name of your business and tell us what it is that you do and how you're helping people.
Okay. Name of my business is LifePath Legacy LLC. And what I do is I help people pre-plan their funerals and memorial services. And this is not your typical or not your traditional whole life or term life insurance. This is actually planning it, picking out what you want. Now, some people will be like, no, I don't want to do that. But it's necessary, not necessarily for you because you'll be gone. It's a peace of mind thing that you can do for your family because we're all going to have to deal with it. Somebody's going to have to do it for us, and we're going to have to do it for somebody else. So what we do is I just sit with you, and we have a conversation, and we find out what is it that you want? What is it that how do you want your family to take care of all of this? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. So that's what we do. If you want to be buried, here's what you need. You want to be cremated, here's what you need. We put it in place. We lock that price in. And then when you pass away, it's done. Nobody has to worry about it. It's all taken care of. And now they can actually celebrate your life without the financial worry, not without the emotional grief of trying to plan a service. You know, there's still planning that they have to do. But the big stuff, it's already done. And we make sure that's taken care of.
Now, what you deal with is two things that are traditionally, in our life, there's two things that are always been tough. That's going to be taxes and that's going to be death. Now, I know it's challenging because we're talking about our mortality at that time. Give us an idea of how you approach that conversation with someone talking about their death and their demise. Tell us a little bit about how you break those walls down.
Well, like I said, it's just really a conversation where you are talking to people and just making it plain. I don't make it sad. My sense of humor sometimes is appreciated, sometimes it's not. But just trying to make it easy, okay, tell me what you want. That's how I usually start it out. Tell me what you want. And there are times when people, they do get emotional. They do start crying. They do say, oh, my goodness, this is so hard. And I'm like, I understand. I did it for me. I did it for my husband. I've done it for my mom. So that's the biggest piece is I try to find out what it is. I listen and find out what it is that they want. I don't come in and say, okay, you need this, 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 and this without knowing what it is that they want. And if it gets to the point where they say, I just really can't do this right now, no problem. No problem. We can come back to it at some point, or we can never come back to it.
Okay.
It's totally what you want to do. So it's a way to, I say it's an easy way to have a hard conversation because it's going to have to be addressed at some point or another. And if you can do it as far ahead of time as possible, the better off it is for everybody concerned.
Now, for myself, have a little bit of experience with it and just trying to inform the listeners that are watching and listening today. When you see the difference between a traditional burial and a cremation, is it something where it just really depends on that person, or financially, is one more financially easier than the other? Tell us a little bit about costs and stuff like that.
Well, of course, cremation is less expensive, but it also depends on how you want to be cremated. And you're like, how? And I thought there was only one way to be cremated.
Me too.
And when I say how, the actual process of cremation is the same. But as far as, there's some people who want to have, say you want to be cremated, and you want to have a memorial service, and you want your ashes there, and you want a really nice picture and all that. That's less expensive than if you actually want to have, say, the first half of it is like a traditional burial where your body is there, you're viewed, you do all that, because then there's more costs because now they've got to prepare your body, they've got to get you dressed, you've got to be embalmed, you got to rent a casket, all that kind of stuff. And then you can be cremated afterwards. Now, of course, there's a difference in costs. If you're a traditional burial, it's definitely more expensive because now you've also got to include that cemetery piece, which can be just as much sometimes as a funeral, depending on the cemetery and what you want. So, yeah, there is a cost, but the point and the purpose of pre-planning it is you lock the price in. So 30 years from now, 40, 50, 60, however many years when you pass away, number one, you lock the price in. Number two, you've paid it off. And so what it costs now is going to be a whole lot of difference. But You paid it off, you're done, you're finished.
Yes.
They don't have to figure out how to come up with that additional $20,000 or whatever it's going to be by then.
By that time, yes.
It's done. And this is done through the state of Georgia, not through the funeral home, because you don't pay the funeral home directly. Because if you do and they go out of business, your money goes out of business with them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So this keeps your money safe, keeps it guaranteed, and that's the way some funeral homes have licensed people on staff to do that, and then other funeral homes work with people like me who can come in and do it for them.
Yes. Now, you said something that was important that I picked up on. You said it depends on that cemetery piece. I know that we are located here in Georgia. Is this a service that you provide just here in Georgia or nationwide? Tell us about that geographical area that you cover.
I am in Georgia because I'm licensed in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
It can go, the arrangements are transferable.
Okay.
So they can be at any funeral home, in any cemetery. Well, cemeteries are a little different. A lot of times, because you're actually purchasing a lot or plot or land, then that's something that stays there, but doesn't transfer. But with the funeral homes, it can be transferred.
Okay.
And the way the contracts are set up, you have to be attached to a funeral home because it has to be. That's the way the state does it. But then you can transfer it and change it to a different funeral home if you so choose.
Okay. Okay. Thinking about time-wise, because although we would love for people to pre-plan, it's something that people try to avoid, and it's one of those things that I'm sure you get urgency calls all the time. Tell us a little bit about what an engagement looks like with you if it was an unexpected passing, and how long does it take to get all those things wrapped up if they're ready? I know if they have questions and hesitant, it could take longer, but on a typical one, let's go ahead and figure out how to get this done. How long does an engagement take?
So you're saying if someone has passed away and they call me. So if someone has passed away, I cannot help them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we're pre-planning it.
Oh,
We're
okay.
planning it before they pass away.
Okay.
I cannot do any plans for anyone on hospice, in hospice. Because at that point, there's probably been a time frame given.
Oh, okay.
And see, folks are making these payments monthly over a certain number of years. So the goal is to, I'd love to be able to do it for folks who are in their 20s and their 30s, but they don't think they're going to die. So they don't want to do that.
Yes.
So they don't.
Right.
And those who do, as soon as they're like, hey, we can go to Paris. Well, can I pay this ticket or can I pay this? No, cancel that. I'm going to Paris,
Yes.
So it's usually, I like to talk to folks who are still working, so they still have income to pay it. And because after a certain point, after the age of, have different tiers, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. But after the least amount of time of 3 years, you've got to be no more than 80, 85, okay. 85, I'm sorry. 85. 80, 75, 80, 85, 80. I'm sorry, I had to mentally see it in my head. After that, you can still get the arrangements. You just have to make one payment.
Okay.
Because you're going to pay this monthly, and after a certain 85 years old, they're not going to give an 85-year-old, unfortunately, 10 years to pay something.
Okay.
So so it's not something that I can do for some. Now, people do call me. I know, Miss Donna, we were supposed to meet, a couple of weeks ago. My husband just passed away. What can I do? Or what can you do? And I said, I can refer you to a funeral home because now you've got to plan a funeral.
Okay. Makes sense. So based off of your description, I truly do appreciate you describing how that process works. This service that you're providing is really for who comes after you. It's really for your family is what it seems like. Would you categorize that as what you do?
I definitely would. It's a peace of mind because that's the biggest piece. I have actually been in funeral homes and they've had to call the police because the cousin doesn't get along with the uncle or the children don't get along with each other, and there was no planning, no preparation, no nothing. And so now all of this drama and stress is going on, and people come in and they think their parents have one thing, and they find out they have something else or nothing at all. And so that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, it is peace of mind, and it's like I said, it's different than your whole life policies or your term life policies. It's not final expense, it's not burial insurance, because usually those things are typically whole life insurance policies. Whole life insurance policies, you leave $30,000 to someone. They can use it for your burial if they so choose. Oh. But they don't have to.
Okay.
With this, it's going to the funeral home. Yes, that's all you can do with it. It's structured, I won't get into all the intricacies of insurance, but it is structured totally, totally different of how it can be used for the funeral home or the cemetery. That's it.
Okay.
Or the crematory.
Okay. Thank you so much for explaining what it is that you do. It's already a subject that people are hesitant to talk about, but what you're sharing with us is there's a way to prepare for it. And don't be selfish and thinking about yourself. Think about your heirs, your spouses, those other family members, and the lack of stress that you'll be putting on their shoulders by moving forward with that. So thanks so much for explaining that. And one of the other things that we want to ask, we are confident that over your journey in life, dealing with your nonprofits, dealing with your business, you have acquired and nurtured some best practices or business skills that have helped you to be successful. Do you mind sharing with us a couple of those?
Sure. The biggest piece, the biggest skill, I think, my superpower, as they say, I think, is listening. Is listening not to respond, but listening to understand and hear, so that when you do respond, is something that makes sense to the question or whatever it was that they asked you. So that's the biggest piece. And relationships. When I sit down, I'll be honest with you, I have gone into people's houses, and they have not wanted me to be there. They don't want to talk about this. They have they're like, one lady wouldn't even, she's like, well, you're here, sit down if you want to. And I'm like, okay. But by the time we were finished, she was, she walked me out to the car. We were talking about food, and she was, she had a little one, and she was talking about her baby and everything. So this is, it's the relationships, it's listening, is, understanding what that person wants and needs, and I like what you said earlier, is you may have to say it again. Transaction is a transaction. Tell me what you said.
What I was talking about, you treat it as if it is a transition instead of the transaction.
Okay, that's exactly, and I love that. And that's exactly what it is. And when I sit down with folks, the goal is for me to make them comfortable, to find out what they want, to make sure when we're finished they've gotten and received what they wanted and needed. And a lot of times it's not just them. If it's a parents, especially if it's older parents, sometimes the children, the adult children are there, because they also want to make sure that I'm not somebody crazy coming in there, offering their parents something that they really don't need. And I have recently, I met with a couple, and by the time we started talking and I was listening, I told them, what you have is what you need. This would be something additional, and you don't need it.
Okay.
Because one of the daughters, she was kind of, she was a little difficult at the beginning. And when I finished, she said, I appreciate you saying that. I have 3 group homes, which I had no idea. And I'd love for you to come and speak to my group homes, because now she understood that she could trust me, and that I was going to talk, I was going to say the right thing, and I wasn't going to try and make a transaction just to have a transaction, because that, I always tell people too, I've got to sleep at night. I've got to be able to feel good about not only everything else I do, but especially about this, because this is important, very important.
It is. Thank you so much for sharing that. It is very important for us to pay attention. I'm sure in your industry you have to have a lot of empathy and listening and putting yourselves in their shoes and, making sure you try your best to understand them. So I definitely appreciate you highlighting that skill. Now, we talked a lot about the heavy stuff here.
Okay.
I want to go ahead and talk about some of those smiling, bright type things. And this is a segment that we do as far as saying, if time and money is not an issue, your business is continuing to grow and things are going just well, what is it that you would do with your time?
Well, right now, I would have a doggy daycare.
Okay.
But it wouldn't just be a doggy daycare. It'd be like a store that would also sell doggy stuff, doggy clothes, doggy treats. I would love to have, and I've seen this just on social media, a bus where you go and you pick the dogs up for daycare and they come in, and I just love everything dogs.
Okay.
I really, really, truly do. And so I would do that. I would also travel. I actually have a travel business, but I haven't been able to do as much because my husband's job, but he's retiring in May.
Okay.
So that'll give us a little bit more time. He'll have more flexibility. But the travel, the pets, and being able to spend, I do, but I spend time with my mom. My mom will be 89 in October, but she still lives by herself. She still drives. I always tell people she's in better shape than I am. She enjoys life. But just like, just being able, and I still do it, because if she asks me to do something, everything drops.
Yes.
Going to lunch, she likes to go on trips. She's a member of that center that I've talked about. And they have a travel club, and they travel all around. And sometimes she's like, oh, I would love to go on this trip, but I want you to be my roommate. So I'd like to be able to do that and just be able to have and enjoy the non-stress of not having to worry about anything, you know?
Right.
Things you're concerned about, but release all of that extra stress that causes issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to come up with the perfect pet, what type of pet or dog would you have?
Well, I like all dogs, but I like the smaller dogs.
Okay.
My little doggy was a Maltipoo, and they have, crazy personalities, bark at everything. But I think the next dog, if we get another one, because I'm not quite ready, will be something in that family, maybe a schnauzer, a miniature schnauzer. And I think I'm going to get a male dog this time.
Okay.
Because female dogs have extra things that we have to deal with that I didn't know about. And just something, we're toying the idea of a rescue dog, I can't go to a shelter because I'll come out with all of them. So we're trying to figure that piece out. But I just want to be able, that unconditional love, oh my goodness, from a pet is just too much. It's just too much.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, if the people that are watching today have questions about your story, your journey, your business, or just would like to have a conversation with you, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Best way to contact me is you can email me, Donna at LifePathLegacyATL.com. And that's the same. My website is the same. And you can contact me through my website as well, LifePathLegacyATL.com. And you can call me, text me, 678-982-9805. And I do have, I have a YouTube channel. It doesn't have anything really to do with this. It's more, I do this weekly thing called Thankful Thursday. But that's at Donna, D-O-N-N-A, Dees, D-E-E-S. And it's just something that I started. Actually, I started it to get out of my introvert cocoon. And that was about 4 years ago. And so I've started doing that. But those are different ways that you can contact me. And I will definitely contact you back.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing about, your business and those things that you've been going through. And for us, we always honor our guests by giving you guys the last word. So if you don't mind, Donna, please look into the camera and tell the
Okay.
people something good.
Well, something good. Something good is that, and this is what I always tell people: you are amazing. You are an amazing person, and anything that you want to do, you can do. Just just do it. Just take the chance. Don't worry about other people's opinions of you. It's none of your business. We don't care. If people are going to talk about you either way, yes or no. But do what makes you happy. Take care of yourselves. Be kind. And always try to make a good difference, and pay attention to the people around you. Always tell people that you're thankful for them and that you're grateful for them. And as always, tell yourself that you're thankful for you, and always tell God, thank you for yet another day. That's it.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. You've been a great guest for us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I so appreciate. I was so looking forward to this.
Yes, awesome. And to everyone that is watching, be kind and thanks.